Well, good morning, Unity of Bellingham. Welcome, welcome. My name is Marie Bailey. I'm your podium assistant today. And we have our music ministry, the fabulous Cheryl Hodge.
Thank you.
Does anybody notice she loves to do that? Yay, yay. Okay. And we are really blessed today to have a wonderful guest speaker. I'm going to have him come up and tell you a little bit about what he's going to do. Reverend Barton.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Reverend Barton. I am originally from Orlando, Florida, where I have a Minister of Record position with Unity on the Space Coast in Titusville, Florida. And I'm also the treasurer on the board of directors for Unity Worldwide Ministries. And I am ministerial classmates of Reverend Franks. We were actually ordained together. So it's really an honor and a privilege to be here with each and every one of you this morning. This morning, we're going to talk about creating in our lives and manifesting that what we want. I know you've been doing a little series about the seasons of creativity, and this morning we're going to talk about what happens when that doesn't quite go as planned and how can we do it a little bit more effectively and efficiently and easily in our lives. All right?
All right.
Yay.
Beautiful song by Daniel Nemeth, who will be here this week. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Yes. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
And now, as we move into our time of reflection and meditation, if there's anyone or anything who could use prayer support, bring them into your consciousness now, and feel free to speak their name out loud. And perhaps hold them in your heart as I read this writing by Veronica Walker Douglas. Dear one, take this moment to reflect on the following question. Who would I be if I made the conscious choice to let go of thoughts, feelings, and memories of yesterday that no longer serve my highest good? Perhaps your mind would be clearer and your heart more open. You would only cherish the memories that bring you joy. If you simply let go of what was and boldly reached for what is, you could stand firm in faith and finally experience the true freedom that is your birthright. You are a worthy, blessed being, and life is waiting for you. Now is the time to accept the invitation to release the past and embrace the abundant future that lies ahead. And now, as we settle in for meditation, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Allow your shoulders to drop, your jaw to soften, your spine to lengthen. Notice the breath moving in and out of the body. Now deeply feel the breath moving in and out of the body. This is your sacred return to stillness, to presence, to your inner knowing. You didn't come here to control or force. You came here to let go. Because only when you let go do you truly become free. With every inhalation, feel the air entering your body. Cool, intelligent, alive. This breath is not just oxygen. It's information. It's alignment. Every inhale brings you deeper into your center. Every exhale releases another layer of resistance, tension, and attachment. Let go of what you thought this moment should be. Let go of who you think you need to be. Let go of the stories that bind you to the past. Because here, in this breath, in the stillness, you are free. Now bring your awareness to the space behind your eyes. Notice the thoughts that rise and fall. Don't chase them and don't fight them. Just notice and return to your breath. Because when you observe your thoughts without attachment, you step out of the program and into pure presence. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness observing them. You are not your emotions. You are the energy beneath them. You are not your body. You are the intelligence flowing through it. Now let the body begin to dissolve. Feel it merge with the space around you, as if your edges are softening, as if the boundary between you and the world is fading. And your energy is beginning to expand. Let go of your name, your identity, your history. Just for now, let go of all the things that the world taught you to be. Because freedom begins the moment you remember you were never meant to be anything but light, anything but love, anything but energy in motion. And in this deep awareness, feel yourself as that energy now. Flowing, limitless, radiant, connected to everything and everyone. Now bring your attention to your heart. And at this time, allow the wisdom of the body to release what it no longer needs. Now gently coming back to the room. Feel your body resting in the chair. And when you're ready, softly open the eyes and let the room lovingly come to you. And for a few more moments, feel the mind held in a quiet, meditative state.
cast alone and adrift far out to sea. Well, there's a cloud up ahead, too great to believe. And so before I can wish my life away, hey, I get down on my knees and then I start to pray. Deliver me in times of sorrow. Deliver me in times of joy. Help me to see there's a tomorrow. And when there's only a storm-cast sea, deliver me. And so before I can sing my life away, well, I'll get down on my knees and then I start to pray. Deliver me in times of sorrow. Deliver me in times of joy. Help me to see there's a tomorrow. And when there's only a storm-cast sea, deliver me, God. Hear my message. This is my mantra. Deliver me. Deliver me.
Beautiful, thank you. So it occurred to me that really what you're in the middle of talking about this month, excuse me, is Unity's third principle, which is the power that we have to create the world we live in through our thoughts, our words, our actions. How we live our life creates how we experience this world, which is an incredible power that we have. And that's the good news. But you know, with good news, there's always bad news. And the bad news is there's no magic wand to make it happen. You don't get a spell or an incantation or a Harry Potter saying that gives you what you want just because you affirm it in the world. It's just a little bit more complicated than that. It's a process. Reverend Frank started talking about how in the springtime of the creative process, you set your groundwork, your intention for what it is that you want in your life, and you move into the summer where you find yourself in this harmonizing with the divine. And it's this process that he's walking us through and talking about to bring forth that which we want, what our heart desires, what we were meant to do while we were in this lifetime. And we do that, and yet sometimes it doesn't quite turn out the way we thought it would. Co-founder Charles Filmore says that the mind thinks something, and then we're kind of surprised to find out that's not what turns up in our lives. Because we haven't really fully understood the complexities of this creative process. Reverend Frank talked last week about how it's part of this unity, trinity of this mind, idea, and expression. And Unity co-founders Charles and Merle Filmore talked about this trinity as being, divine mind where all possibilities exist. And then our mind, where we have these formative thoughts where we can kind of, in our limited way, understand these infinite possibilities and divine principles and truths, and then find a way to express them in the world. And in a perfect scenario, it works wonderfully. But Charles says there's more to it than that. Because while if you can perfectly do that, allow your mind to access divine mind, and then bring it into your formative thoughts, and then it's guaranteed to manifest in the world, and then it doesn't, he says, well, let's look at what's really going on here. Because to do this in an effective and efficient way, you really have to have alignment in yourself, in your spiritual being. And the three things that he talks about that you want to have in alignment as you're manifesting your dreams in this world are your conscious, your subconscious, and your superconscious mind. And those terms are used in psychology and psychiatry and those kind of things, but in a spiritual way, this is what he means. Our superconscious mind is that portion of divine mind, that divinity that lives within each and every one of us. That's our superconsciousness, that access to the divine mind that's really within each and every one of us, that Christ presence. And then we have our consciousness, and that's basically just how we get around in the world. We're conscious of what we decided to put on today, how we decided to drive here, what streets we took, where we decided to sit in this room. These are all ways that we just operate in the world, what we had for breakfast, what we're going to do, what we're going to do later today, these thoughts that get us through, where we're going to work, how we're going to pay our bills, what are we going to do. So just getting along in the day, that's our conscious thoughts. But then the third part of that is our subconscious. And our spiritual subconscious is really that repository of all of our thoughts and feelings and emotions and lessons that sometimes we're not even aware of that are present, working behind the scenes in what we're doing and how our mind works and the decisions that we make. And it's complicated with the subconscious because you're not even aware sometimes of what those underlying thoughts and beliefs are. It could have been something someone told you as a child that you don't remember happening, but it's in there. Charles says it actually could be a little bit step further than that. It could be things that have happened in your family, in your culture, and in your race, called race consciousness. That could all be embedded in your subconscious, and you don't even quite know it's there. And the problem, he says, is if those three things don't align, that subconscious can kind of sabotage the whole process. So I was trying to think of an example of how this really works and how it makes sense to me, because I'm a real visual person, so I have to kind of see it somewhere. And what occurred to me, that this whole process reminds me of my laptop. So if you think about your laptop, or your computer, or even your cell phone, your little device, this superconscious mind is all the information that's available on the internet. Just this unlimited amount of data that's out there, this infinite knowledge base. It's kind of like the superconscious. You've got that available to you. Your conscious mind, then, is your keyboard and your screen. This is where you're making all the decisions. You're saying, I want this here, I want that there, do this. You're entering the commands on your little laptop, and you're looking for the results there on your screen. And the tricky part is the subconscious, which is that operating system that's buried deep within the computer, and you don't know how it works. You don't know who built it, and you don't know what's going on down there. But you're sending all these commands down to this subconsciousness, to this operating system. And Charles says, when we're creating, our power is in our consciousness. That with our thoughts and our words and our actions, we're creating what we want. We're telling our subconscious what to do. And our subconscious has to work with that superconscious divineness in us to bring forth our dreams. But what if there's a virus in our subconscious? What if there's a virus or a bug in the system that's messing everything up, and we're getting this error message that says that dream's not able to be displayed? That page isn't available. A psychiatrist or psychologist might call this shadow work that we need to do. In Unity, we say the things that no longer serve us, or error thinking. Those thoughts that aren't really true, but they're in there behind the scenes. We may be thinking we want some type of really lofty goal in our life, or this position, or this next job, or this next relationship. But somewhere in our past, someone said, you're not worthy. You're never going to amount to anything. So even though you're putting out there that you're going to manifest this next best thing for you, that bug in your subconscious, that virus is going, you don't really believe that. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. And we need to work on fixing that. We need to get those bugs out of our operating system. The Filmores say we do that with one of the ways is with denials and affirmations. That's a whole nother talk. But it's a way of taking the power away from those assumptions, uncovering what those blocks are, and replacing them with a truth statement that really makes more truth into our lives, makes more sense, as opposed that we can't or we shouldn't or we aren't worthy, as to we're whole and we're complete and anything's possible. So we have to fix that operating system so that the system works effortlessly and efficiently as we go forward to manifest what we want. That's the hard part. Uncovering those bugs in our system, those beliefs that are holding us back, those unconscious thoughts that need to be fixed, repaired, and healed so that we can move forward. And then Charles Filmore says, your manifestation is assured. It's absolutely assured. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of work. But the other thing about this whole process is it's going to work in your life whether you're paying attention or not. And that's good and bad. When I was in ministerial school and I was learning all about this and how this process worked, because I had been in Unity for a while, but I just had nice Sunday services that I went to, whatever, but really never got into the nuts and bolts of the theology and the teachings and stuff. And as I really started looking at this power of manifestation and creating your life and how this works, where you set the intention, you speak the words, you have the beliefs that it's going to come true, it unfolds in your life. So I look back in my life and I go, okay, does that really work? And I'm like, oh my goodness. Even when I wasn't paying attention. Even when I wasn't paying attention. So let me tell you a story. When I was growing up, I was the middle child of 7. I had, most of my cousins were families of 4 and 5s. Most of the kids I went to school with were families of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, big families. Nice Catholic neighborhood. I always knew I wanted to have a family. I always knew I wanted to be a dad. I always knew I wanted to have kids. I just knew that's who I was and what I wanted in the world. I set that springtime intention. I set that foundation for my life. And then in my 20s, I came out, and that was not going to happen, I didn't think. Well, we'll take that off the board. I thought. And then, as I got into the summer of my life and got a little bit more aligned with the divine, as we've been talking about, I met my husband. And suddenly I had a spouse who also had always wanted children. And we were harmonizing with the divine unbeknownst to us. And we told people that we wanted children, that we wanted more than one child. Remember that, more than one child. So we looked at adoption, and we looked at surrogacy, and we looked at foreign adoption and stuff, and we were living in Florida, and that just was not going to happen, either for legal or financial reasons. That wasn't going to happen. But we told the universe, we told everyone who was listening, this is who we are and this is what we want. And a family relative of ours, a teenage girl, got pregnant, knew she couldn't raise the child, could not terminate the pregnancy, went to her dad, who came to us because she said, I think I know what to do. Uncle Craig and Uncle Don want children. They could raise my baby. I can't. And we were like, wow, the universe delivered without us knowing what we were doing. So we said, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to get this family. And then we thought, well, but we said we wanted more than one kid, whatever. So she called back a couple weeks later and said, twins? And we said, yes. Yes. So this process, if you're in alignment with your thoughts and beliefs and your intentions, and you put it out into the universe, it comes back and fulfills whether you're participating consciously or not. The same thing can happen if in the negative, which is what you need to be careful of. You can't be affirming, I am healthy and whole, I am healthy and whole, light a pack of cigarettes and pop a beer, and say, I am healthy and whole every day of your life, because that's not what's going to manifest. You know, you're going to have health problems if that's what you put out in the world, if that's what your actions are putting out in the world. So it's not just saying the words, all of these things have to be in alignment. It all has to work together. And Charles Filmore says, and the last piece to really make this work is, where are your emotions in this? What feelings are you putting with your intention that you're sending to the world? When you pray, when you talk to the divine, when you make your affirmations, are you just speaking words? Or do you add the power of feelings and emotions with those words? It makes a difference. That's what jump starts it up to the next level. That has to be in alignment too. You can't be feeling unworthy and saying, I'm the best there ever was. The feelings have to match and go with it. So I want to show you kind of how that works. So take out your little bulletin, your little handout that you got when you came in. We read our mission statement this morning for this congregation. It's on the inside cover. All right, everybody got that? Okay. This is the statement of who you are as a spiritual community. This is what you're telling the world you are. So let's read that together. We are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. Okay. Did you feel that? I didn't. Sorry. Didn't feel it. This is who you are. This is you telling the universe who and what you want this spiritual community to be. Does that sound the same as, we are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose? That's a prayer. Try it again. We are a joyful, spiritual, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate services, and living on purpose. Better. Try it again. We are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate services, and living on purpose. That's a prayer. That's an affirmation. That's a statement that gets the universe's attention. That reaches into the divine, and your subconscious is going, I believe that too. Let's make this happen. Let's bring this forth. Let's do this. I believe it. Because just reading it like a rote prayer is just like you could be reading the back of a cereal box. There's nothing there. It's just chatter. But you have to put your emotions and your feelings into what it is that you want to manifest in the world, what you want to accomplish with this mission. It's as easy as one simple word that you say every time you pray. Did you know that amen does not mean the end? It doesn't. It means, and so it is. It means, that's right. This is what I believe. That's what amen means. So if you say, and so it is, amen, you've just said the same thing twice. You don't end a prayer with, amen. You end a prayer with, amen. 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 You've just said something to the universe, to your soul, to the divine, and you end it with, that's right. That's where I'm going. That's what I affirm. That's what I know. That's true. Amen. Not the end. There's a difference. Align what you're thinking, doing, and saying with your feelings. And Charles Filmore said, the manifestation is assured. It has to come through. And here's the last little part about that I want to talk about. Is when you decide what it is you want to manifest in the world, what it is that you want to bring forth, what it is that is your soul's desire, don't make it this big. Don't say, I have to get to that point right there. Because when you do that, you block out the entire rest of the horizon that goes on for infinity. Speak in terms of, I want to manifest this or something better, or something in this direction, because the divine could have something way bigger in mind than you ever could have imagined. Don't limit yourself to your dream. Don't specify it so smallly that you block out other possibilities, because that's the divine mind level of this, infinite possibilities. What you are able to create through this process really is unlimited. In the Christian scriptures, Jesus says, greater things than these you will do. And you know what? We have. Think about it. He didn't put anybody on the moon. No, he didn't. He didn't create a supercomputer. He didn't build a skyscraper. There are so many things that we have done greater than things that he did or was able to do, because all of that was available in divine mind, and it just took us a while to bring it forth. And final point, this takes a while. Remember that no magic wand thing? This takes a while. It takes a while, so be patient. Stick with it. That's your power of faith, your power of strength, to stay with that which you are trying to bring forth into the world, knowing that all things are possible. It takes time. Myrtle Fillmore, when she went through her healing process, took her 3 years, depending on the source, 1 to 3 years, but up to 3 years for her to realize this physical healing in her body. Charles had a bad leg that was 3 inches shorter than his other leg, and he walked with a brace. It never fully healed, but by the end of his life, he no longer wore a brace, and the heel on the bottom was half the size that he needed to make himself upright. It took us till we were 37, till our daughters were born. It took us 37 years. So it takes a while. Stay with it. Don't give up. Remain true to that vision. Keep that emotional intent to it. Affirm it positively. Say amen every time you bring it forth, and then just wait for it to happen. So open yourself up to unlimited possibility. Look for those areas, those air thoughts that might be slightly holding you back. Do the work to get rid of them so that you can align that superconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind to work efficiently and effortlessly and bring unlimited dreams true for you. Guaranteed, says Charles. Give it the time, have faith, have strength, and make it happen. Amen.
Hi, I have some announcements. I have to say, Don, I think the last time I've seen you preach live, we were in Filmore Chapel at Unity Village during ministry school, and man, I miss that with you in those times. So, for Don, thank you so much for your gifts. Yeah, this was the fun of ministry school with like a dozen of us sharing these insights and this opportunity to grow and expand and understand this beautiful path, this beautiful movement that we call the Unity Movement. So it's so great to have you, and Craig, you too. Thanks. By the way, this weekend would normally be Friday, the Power Art Weekend, but I think we've powered up our art for this whole year. Thank you, Malin, and everybody who's been involved. If you look around, how much art and the beautiful piece in the foyer that has been prepared to make it in time for the conference. So thank you. So I think we're standing down now for Power Art for 2025. We've powered through. And then we'll have something new and interesting and a new revision of Power Art for 2026. So no more Power Art for this year. Can you imagine we're already saying we're finished for some for the year, but here we are, September. By the way, yeah, who said yeah? Yes, I can imagine. Daniel Namod, and we've been doing Daniel Namod songs for about 6 weeks now. We have a handful of tickets left. If you still want to come to the concert, you might be sitting up on the balcony. We don't know where we're going to put it. We're going to fit everybody in. We're going to try to make it up to about 120. We're going to find every chair we can, but we want to fill the place. It's pretty much full already, but there's room for a few more people. See Janae. She's here, and she can get you a ticket. And and don't let money be a reason you don't come. Okay, just talk to Janae. If you want to come, we'll find a way to get you here. And also, speaking of a radio show, as you know, Kathy Murray and her gang of players have been putting on these, 1930s radio show type programs, and they've been practicing Casablanca. Yeah, so this is going to be a good one. It's October 3rd. I think it's a Saturday night. Is it or Friday? It's a Friday night, October 3rd, a Friday night. Tickets are $10. And if you haven't been to one of these things, it's actually quite a riot. And they just sit up here like it's on a radio program with many actors doing voice acting, and it's a lot of fun. So see Janine about that. And also, the auction is coming up. I mean, with all the other things, the conference coming this Wednesday, once that's over, come October, we are still having our auction. We're not going to have a big party, but we're going to, like we oftentimes do, but we're going to have items up around the church, and we're going to have them up and available for auction for 3 weeks. So anything you want to donate for the auction, we already have a lot of beautiful items donated, or any activity or skill or some kind of gift. I think Heather talked about donating a starter kit and supporting people for sourdough bread. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I personally have never said, gee, how do you make sourdough bread? But it's interesting now that you bring it up. There are those who... Yeah, I don't do cooking, but Diane might like it, so, I mean, but I love the creativity, so whatever kind of gift or offering, pickleball lessons, whatever, those all are good things. Here's an odd request. The symbol for the conference is a compass. The conference this year is called Leading Through the Fog, the sense that, there's all this stuff happening, but we're what the end is, it's manifesting, and we're saying this or something better, this or something greater. We're open to the universe that's leading the unity movement in all sorts of beautiful new ways, but we can't always quite see. So we're following our North Star. Part of our symbol is a compass. Does anybody have a compass that they could donate? Greg does, yeah. No. Or does anyone else have a compass? Do you have a compass? I'm sure it's a beautiful compass, Greg, but I was listening to the boss there. Yes, you two. So one of you, can you talk to Diane about bringing a compass as a symbol? We want to have it on our front piece. Thank you so much. Hey, just ask. Helga is our chaplain today. She was gone for 3 weeks on vacation, and she just got back. So welcome back. You're the chaplain. Yeah, thank you. And this room is close. This is going to be our food room through the conference. So today for the chaplains, we'll meet in my office back down the hall. And if you want to take a moment for You know, and actually today's with Don's talk is a great day. If there's something you feel like I've been trying to manifest, I see this vision and I want to go forward, and just to get some energy about affirming your way forward, or maybe even praying about something that whether you know or can't quite say what it is, but you know there's something there in the subconscious that might be, you know, tripping you up every time you go forward. It's like, dang, what? It takes time, and we unveil these things in shadow work. In whatever way, take a minute and come to a prayer with Helga and back. And a special note, once again, I just got to say thank you for the High Watch team who's been meeting and praying. I know your prayer has been for the conference and the creation, but the prayer recently has been for every single person through 8 states that is packing their bags and getting ready and traveling to Bellingham, Washington, and putting their suitcases together and bringing all their summer clothes, to which they're never going to use because they realize it's not so warm in Washington as it is in Florida. And but all the people that are moving this way, we send them a prayer, we send them a blessing, safe travels. We cannot wait to see you. Blessing on your journey, and so much gratitude for what everybody is bringing for this region, blessing our unity of Bellingham. And we'll say it with a lot of energy. Thank you. Safe travel, blessings on your journey, and we cannot wait to see you. Yeah, Janae. No, change subject. Just say it. I know. You're not going to get away with not using it. So. What am I letting everybody know? Oh, did you notice the sign? Did everyone notice the sign? And here's what, so what she's saying is, not only our official logo was Unity of Bellingham. And for lots of reasons, and we could tell you about those later, but we decided to be a little more specific. It now says that if you look, Unity of Bellingham, a spiritual community. And we've brought it out, and if you haven't seen the new logo, thank you so much, Greg, and for all the people, especially Greg, who put that logo together with the mandala on it and all that. So that's gorgeous. Yeah, so anyhow, and you're welcome. Oh yeah, when we took the sign off, it turns out there's another sign underneath that sign. And even Jay Scott, who's been here like how long, 30 years? Had never seen the original sign. So we left it up, and there's like this history with, so we put the new sign over not the recent sign, the old sign that was probably here since the 80s, which was kind of fascinating. And if you're here, you got to sign it, so that was fun too. Okay, any announcements? We good?